Ready? Yep. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I've got 5 p.m. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please join me in the invocation and the pledge. Gracious Heavenly Father, we bow before you today. We're just thankful to be here and serve the citizens of our county. Ask you to just join us, be present with us tonight, guide our hearts and our minds and our actions. Ask you to watch over the citizens we serve, watch over the first responders and the military who keep us safe at home. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We've got several opportunities for you to participate. We've got a citizen to be heard at the beginning, another at the end. You can speak on either of those at your choice, and also you can speak on each individual agenda item. If you will, fill out a speaker card with Miss Jessica for everything that you want to speak on, and give us your name and address when you come up to the microphone, and you have 3 minutes. And do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion. Motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
Mr. Chairman, we have one add-on.
Okay.
The Telcon agenda item went out to all of you. It's been added onto consent.
On to consent. And the motion second's okay with that?
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimous. And citizens, we heard none for the first one. No awards and presentation. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion to approve. And a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimous. No consent agenda items pulled for discussion. No general business. We'll go to public hearing. Item number 14.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this agenda item requests board approval to conduct a public hearing and adopt an ordinance amending section 29.033 of the county code, extending the existing local option fuel tax loft through December 31st, 2052. This funding brings in about $870,000 per year into our road operating fund.
Make a motion to approve. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any citizens? No. Discussion from the board. Hear none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimous. That is our public hearings. We'll go to planning and zoning item number 15.
You do it so fast, I have to get down there.
I know. I'm in a rainy meeting.
All right, this is an application for final plat FP 2301. This is the Meadows at Raywinkle. This is a final plat for a 57-lot residential subdivision containing about just over 134 acres, located on the east side of Raywinkle Road across from the Spring Run Acres subdivision. In accordance with the code, please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had regarding this application.
None.
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 If there's anyone here who's going to provide any information regarding this application, please stand up to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. As Heather indicated, this is a request for final plat approval of a 58-lot residential subdivision on just over 134 acres of land. This plat is to be known as the Meadows at Raywinkle. The future land use designation for this property is Rural 2, and the current zoning district is RR2. All required infrastructure needed to serve this development has been constructed and is in place. The developer has also submitted the required maintenance bond, a 2-year maintenance bond and agreement documentation as required by code. Staff is recommending option 1 for approval.
Motion to approve option 1. Second. We have a motion and a second. Any citizens? Discussion from the board. Here. Chuck, Robbie? Come on down, sir.
Have you, this is an area with really high, deep sand. Have you thought about using the in-rib technology for your septic tanks? It's not significantly more, it handles, It's supposed to do a better job of removing the nitrogen, and this is a perfect place for it.
It does have shallow pipe clay, which was kind of unexpected, but, there had to be a pretty decent separation between that pipe clay and the bottom of the drain field. So if it's doable when the site evaluation's done, then yeah, I'm open to that.
Well, would you commit to doing that wherever it's possible?
If
It's,
we have to get individual,
I mean, there might be one or two where pipe clay stops you, but,
I think it's going to be more than one or two. Yeah.
okay. But where it's possible, would you do it?
I mean, I wouldn't agree and draft this into contract right here in this meeting.
Okay. So I have a real
That was
problem.
an option that, we're at a final plat. The bells and whistles have been hammered out. We've gone through the process.
Yeah, I don't get
And here today,
till today, so that's much.
I know, but this conversation was a preliminary plat conversation, which I know I don't get to see y'all on, but, that's, so. No, I mean,
Well, I just, right now we're on our consent agenda. We just approved, where we're spending $35,000 per house to put them on sewer, get them off the system.
is that in Wakulla Gardens or Magnolia Gardens? I mean, that's,
Yeah, but you also have, a whole host of these coming forward, and at some point, if we can't get our nitrogen in line, we might have to sewer this one, and I'm trying to avoid that. And so while the county doesn't pay it, because the state's paying for it, but that's still my taxes that are being spent, so I think it's fiscally irresponsible for us not to attempt to do these things in a better way.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I ask Heather or Summer a question.
Please.
If at any time during this, would that have been a conditional use through this whole process if someone had asked Riley to do this earlier?
Since that is not a requirement of the code, even at preliminary plat stage, you could not make that a condition of approval.
Thank you.
Very good.
But we could ask him to do the socially responsible activity.
You can always ask, yes, sir.
Good. No more questions?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Additional comments or questions? Hear none? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Passes 4-1. We'll go to planning and zoning, item number 60.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a request for the board's approval of a small-scale comprehensive plan future land use map amendment, CP 2303 for Dorado Design and Construction. This request is on a .99 acre parcel on the north side of Aaron Road, just west of the villas at Covington Park. Currently, the future land use designation for this property is urban fringe, and as requested, the applicant is seeking a change to the urban core land use designation, which would allow for a maximum of 10 units per acre on this parcel. This property has been examined for both cultural and environmental resources, and neither one was found. The proposed zoning district for this property is an application following next on the agenda for high-density residential. The applicant has suggested that they intend to construct single-family attached dwellings on this site. The Planning Commission reviewed this request at last week's Planning Commission hearing and recommended unanimously for approval of this change to the future land use map amendment. This property is located within the Crawfordville Core District of the Crawfordville Town Plan, and staff is recommending option 1 for approval.
Have a motion.
Motion to approve?
Do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second. We've got two speakers, Mr. Wade Brown. Thank you, sir. And Miss Edna Lassiter? Or
Adam Lassiter?
Adam Lassiter.
All right.
Man, you don't look like an Edna, I can tell. Thank you, sir. All right. Any additional questions, comments?
This is where we want to have development. This is the kind of development we need inside our town plan. I don't see a problem with it.
Very good. No other questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimous. Thank you. We'll go to item number 17, planning and zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an application for a change of zoning, R2304. This is for the same property that you just considered the comp plan amendment for. This is approval for a change of zoning from CO to HDR on about 1 acre. This land is located on the north side of Aaron Road, abutting the western boundary of the Villas at Covington Park subdivision. Because this is a quasi-judicial item, please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had regarding this application.
None.
I just asked Adam a few minutes ago when he was here if it was to be one story.
Edna or Adam?
I just asked him when he.
None.
Earlier.
None.
Done.
If there's anyone here who's going to provide any information regarding this application, please stand up to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth,
Hang
the
on,
whole truth,
Ms. Raker, you'll need to swear in as well.
do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Is that right?
Yes, this change of zoning request is the same parcel as Heather mentioned as your previous agenda item, just shy of 1 acre on the north side of Aaron Road, west of the Villas at Covington South Park subdivision. R2304 requests a change of zoning from CO, commercial office, to HDR, high-density residential. This proposed zoning district is consistent with the previously approved agenda item and comprehensive plan map amendment to urban core. Staff is recommending option 1 for approval.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve option 1.
Second. Motion and second. We have 3 speakers. Ms. Jane Raker. Welcome.
Good evening. I spoke to the Planning Commission last week about this same issue, and they assured me that the letter I provided to them would be forwarded to y'all for this meeting. I don't know if that has happened or not. I live at 104 Covington Circle. My name is Jane Raker. The property that is being considered immediately abuts my property. One of the issues that we were concerned about was whether or not it would be restricted to 1 story or 2 story. If it's 2 stories, it's looking in my back door. And the agent, Wade, and could not commit to a 1-story development, nor could they commit to providing the buffer that is currently there to protect the property that's existing. I'd like to know that there's some sort of commitment that they're going to keep a buffer and that they're going to stay to 1 story. They're talking about 8 to 10 units, and there is room for at least 8 units on the property. I've looked at the dimensions, and I can see what's there. Their driveways are going to go out onto toll lanes, so there's not going to be space taken up for a street running through there, apparently. Just have some concerns about the stormwater retention pond. Villas at Covington Park has been very diligent in maintaining our holding pond. I was on the board when we established the process for maintaining it every 5 years. We've never had an overflow, and it works very well. The retention pond on the property in question would need to be in a location that would not interfere with the perk on our pond. As our water drains, we don't want to run into an issue with it being blocked from drainage because there's another one right near it doing the same thing. That is one concern. Just to express another concern that we have for safety, and that is that the increased traffic is of some concern because there's a dance studio immediately across toll lane from this property. And according to the owners, there are 150 students and more all the time are joining as the county grows. Traffic in and out of there is going to be a concern with the children coming and going and running around. Parking is an issue in Villas at Covington Park. We do have our common areas where people can park overflow, and I'm not sure how much common area there will be available for such parking in this area. And parking, of course, at the studio would not be an acceptable option. But the other issue that came up, that I learned at the planning commission meeting was that Wakulla County apparently does not have a medium density rating, an R2. They either have high density or something else. Urban core has a limit of 10 units per acre. High density allows far more than that. So by granting high density to a property that is limited to 10, you're going to have some confusion and conflict on what is actually allowable on the property when you approve it both ways.
Thank you, Ms. Riker. Can you bring it into a closing?
I will. I'll just tell you that if the county could develop a medium density program, it would be very consistent with the urban core, and it would be beneficial and far less confusing to everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Wade Brown. Thank you. Mr. Adam Lassiter. Thank you, sir.
Discussion.
Wade, is they going to have a barrier?
Well, we're not going to sit here and, well, it's according to what the stormwater does. So the stormwater may have to go in behind the houses and their property line as a conveyance well to route everything to the centralized holding pond. So we're not going to commit to a buffer that would knock us out, transferring our stuff.
I understand.
If it's possible, we'll leave some trees. But
Is that holding pond that y'all are going to build going to mess with their holding pond?
no way.
Okay.
Got to stay self-contained, permitted through Northwest Florida, and make sure of that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Further questions, comments?
Can I ask Summer, the zoning right now is commercial,
It is correct.
so that can be how many stories high?
That could be up to 2, possibly 3 stories, depending on the design of the structure. The height restriction in the CO zoning district is 35 feet, which is the same for the proposed HDR zoning.
Okay, and with regard to the medium density, do we not have an R2 density?
There is an R2 zoning district that is really, at this point, intended to be used in areas outside of the Crawfordville Town Plan. Through the development of the Crawfordville Town Plan over the years, the original planning document did recommend 2 zoning categories for residential use within the Crawfordville Town Plan, one being low-density residential, the other being high-density residential. Those zoning categories don't really dictate density. That falls back to the future land use designation, which dictates the density. We do have some higher density land uses under the comp plan that allow 15 and 20 units per acre as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anything additional?
But this unit is, can only have basically 9 units.
That's correct, based on the density that was approved here this evening.
Okay.
Additional questions, comments? Hear none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimous. Ms. Riker, also like to point out that they still got to come back for a site plan, so a lot of the things you pointed out will have to be looked at that point. Thank you. All right, that ends our planning and zoning. We have no commissioner agenda items. County Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick update on the pending litigation, Williams Communications versus Wakulla. Not a whole lot has happened with that, but I just want to let you know that we have filed a motion to dismiss. That motion has not been responded to or heard yet at this time.
Very good. Anything additional?
Nothing else.
Thank you. Yes, we're, golf course, give you a slight update, the golf course construction is fully underway. Everything is going as planned currently. We plan to have a grand opening or a shovel ribbon cutting here soon, whatever you call that, Kenzie. Groundbreaking, I'm sorry. We'll be having that soon, so keep your eye out for that. That's going along well, and that's about it. That's all I got. Any news on time frame on the lower bridge for finishing the lower bridge? They were to have poured the slabs, and they were just waiting for the brakes to come back.
As soon as the brake tests are positive, then they'll put the slab in and it won't be long. So like I say, that'll be mid-May, probably at best, I would imagine. But that was due to primarily, there was a change up after we had to change the way the construction was to occur after we found the stuff that was underneath, the material that was underneath, and then they had to excavate that out. That changed up the way we're going to use a push slab. So that's kind of the reason that got off to the side. They're working on Hudson Park. Hudson Park is now moving along. I think we'll all be proud of it once it gets done. So that's moving along as well.
What was the holdup there?
Hudson Park,
They started and they stopped and never stopped.
too long of a time frame we gave them on construction, to be honest.
Okay.
Good deal. Anything additional?
That's it.
All right, citizens be heard. Discussion items. Chuck, start us off.
I'm good. Oh, I would like to get preliminary plats brought to us so that we can address things before they get the final plat. The final plat's really just too late.
I think it politicized things even more. Sounds like you need to be on the planning commission.
No.
Nothing, sir.
None for me.
Not for me.
None for me. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you all for coming out.